Okay, so to make connection, you need to click on the plus sign on your lab. Then the host is localhost. Enter. The username is data labs. Enter. Then the password is labs. 1, 2, 3. Port number is the same. Certificate is okay. Then you have your connection. And you can see all your database. You can see the schemas, then your tables. Then you see the Panastra Labs. So you can test that by just doing a right click and run MySQL. Scroll down and anybody with the assignment? Anyone?
Yeah, trying to find the assignment. I wrote it, but I'm scanning through going through my book, and I somehow I can't find.
So is it not the assignments supposed to be on the Google Docs?
What?
No, I'm just trying to be sure. I think the assignment is on the Google Docs.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, awesome. Thank you.
So, sir, is it a question that says, write 5 mathematical expressions,
I don't know.
write to 5 and reading to 5?
Maybe that's the Python class you're talking about.
Oh,
Okay.
that's different. That one is the Python class. I think this is it. Yeah. Okay. Let's get started. Did anybody attempt? Did you guys try?
I think I did, but somehow the lab has, I don't know. I'm just having an issue with my lab. So.
Okay. What kind of issues are you having with your lab? Once you have any block, you're meant to comment and just speak out. You don't keep mute when you have blocks. Okay. Okay. So okay, let's go through it. Write a city to show all states mapped to cities. Okay, so I don't know if we've answered this before, but it looks like a familiar answer. So now, city is short for common table expressions. Okay, common table expression. So meaning that we're taking every query as a table. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we'll write a query. So with CTE, we know the syntax starts with CTE as, okay? The first table will be in here. And the second table, we can call this first one states. You can call it states because that's what the question deals with. And the second one we'll now call cities, okay? As we'll put the other table here. Then we can now write a statement to pull both instances together. Okay, this is just a framework of what we need to do. Okay, so now let's take it one after the other. So the states, this is the table for the states here. There's a table for the states. So to get the data from the states, what do we do? Anybody want to help? Select. Anybody?
Yes.
Select state code, state. So sometimes when you see this, like you see like a field name highlighted in blue, you can decide to like put it up in square brackets to normalize it. You know, in some SQL, in some flavors, SQL flavors, they come up like that because state is an object. It's like a keyword in the table or in the database. So you can case it like that with square brackets and it will normalize it like the way state code is. You know, so in different ways. Sometimes you have a table that has a field name with separated with a space. So for you to do that, you also case it up with a square bracket. So select all from states. That's the same thing as selecting all from states, but I want you to see what we're bringing in. So this takes all the data from states and it's going to have it in this table as states. Okay, you can give this any name. You can give your alias any name, your common table expression any name. So now that you have all the data from states, but remember, you need to specify the database that you're pulling it from. So you want to have it as Pan. You can have it at Pan, Astro, Labs, dot states. So you can run this instance so that you can see what your value looks like just by running this, just by selecting this. So what it means that we're taking all this value, all this table expression, all this table that we generate here, this as a view, we're going to pass it into states. So if you run a little version of that, okay, it's not passing that states. It's not passing that value. So if you run this and Astro Labs, okay. If you run this by highlighting this, you see, it means that we're taking all this value and we're passing it into this variable here, states. You know, that's it's a very simple way of writing some very common subqueries, and it makes SQL interesting. It makes it easy for you to query data the way you want it. So now let's do same for cities. Anybody who want to help me with that? So we'll do same for cities. So for cities, we can just do the same. Select city, comma, state code from cities. So we'll have that whole table in cities. Okay, so we have this select city, comma, state code. From dot cities. Same way we have all that table passed in as states. We can have it like this. You can easily write a direct query that will join everything together in one view, but the question wants you to use a CTE. It's more like creating a pipe. Okay. So if we run this independently, if you run this, you need to select this so that you don't have errors. You see cities here. So now the goal is for you to kind of join this query together to answer the question. Write a city that show all states mapped to cities. So you would now do states. Okay, you will do states. Let me show you how to do that. We do that with alias. So such a way that you say, okay, select, you can say states. Dot state. Okay, comma. Then you say cities dot city from states. Do you know why I have states and states, two states? Anybody? So the state in front is the alias. I can call this A, I can call this B, I can call it anything, but you have it here, states. It's referencing this table here. Okay, so I'll do a join. Are you there? Then I join cities.
Yeah.
On, so I've aliased these cities as well. Okay. I can make this A, I can make this B, but let's run this first and I'll make the changes for you. So we're joining on state code, this state code. This is the common columns between them. It's like a primary key and a foreign key. Okay. Primary key and a foreign key. On states dot should be equal to cities dot. Does that make sense? You see that with these states, we no longer needed, we didn't have to write Panastro Labs. We can call it anything. We didn't have to write Panastro Lab because this one is referencing, kind of referencing to the table in the database. But this is a view, it's referencing to the view. So if we run this, let's give it a run, a fresh run. Just check all your syntax. You see the select, and it's from states, and the join is on the cities and on state code. So you wait on the results, and you see Alaska, Adak, Alaska, you know, you see all the joins. All the joins. It can be a direct query, just one query, but the question wants you to use the CTE method to bring it in. Can you try it from your end? Anybody? So similarly, you can do this. I don't intend to confuse you, okay? But sometimes you want to write readable codes. So in some places they will write ST, CTCR, CTCR. So what I'm saying is, I'm aliasing this table as ST so that I'm using ST to bring out anything that ST has. So meaning that this state is represented by ST, then ST dot state. You see that this table has states, okay? You can make any change to it. And here too, you want to make that change too, so because it's going to flag. See your alias. You can do the same from your end. Yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you, Olu. I didn't see your message on time. Okay, this is the query. Put the query on your lab, run it, make the changes so we can do some filter to it. So if I run this now, it's still going to give me the same output. Then we can now begin to filter it to give me whatever I desire. Say, for example, I want to see where the state is Maryland. Okay. Where it will not be ST, it will not be ST, this one. You have to alias it, bring it in, equals to, you need to highlight, and basically you need to be sure how it's spelled. So if I do this, it should give me every state and city in the state and city in the state of Maryland. Okay. So you see that. So you have the query. Can you guys do some manipulation with that before we go to the next question?
Yes, well.
Refresh your connection, paste the query, run the query, then you begin to see instances. Okay. So without using common table expression, you can do a direct join, but the common table expression gives you a very perfect view of what you're doing. It gives you a clear view, gives you clarity. It simplifies the whole data pipeline for you. So in some industry, yeah, they have different tables from different namespaces. You can plug it in there, bring tables from different databases, put in a common table expressions. Then you cannot do a join and pass the values in between those two data sets from different namespaces or from different databases.
So access is being denied on my end here.
You need to you need to right click on your refresh or you delete connection. You delete connection, then you reconnect.
Yeah, I tried deleting the connection and restart refreshing and try to.
Okay, let's take the second question. Okay. Yeah, you can see this. This is a direct way of writing a query. Okay, without using CTE. Okay, so but we decided to use CTE. If you do it like this, you're gonna get the same answer. But we wanted to use CTE whereby you want to declare this table, then bring it out. Okay, let's take the second one. So for this one, I'm going to comment out this. And I'm going to close this result. So the question, which city has the longest name? That's question A. Which city has the longest name? So let's do question A first. Okay, so say we bring this out and say which city. Okay, let's take A. Sometimes it takes you to just understand the question, then know the table to look at and what function to give you the longest name. Okay. So now we go to the cities table. We need to bring the cities table. This is the cities table here. Okay, we can decide to do city. Do you prefer city or you want subquery? Anyone? So we don't need
that you feel it's useful for us.
Yes, I would prefer CTE, but I will do two ways. I'll do two depending on, I want you to understand how those tables, how they work. And I also want you to understand the table. So now, so the first thing first I want to do is I want to select city. Okay. Then at the same time, I would also take the length. You see it's highlighted in blue. It shows that it's a keyword in this particular database, okay, or in this flavor SQL. So let's limit 10. Let's see what it gives us. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. It's just the concept, what we need to learn. Can you see? 10, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 10, 6, 11. You understand? So now see this. I'll close this. You already know that we already know what we want to do. We want to see which one has the max, right? Has a max here. So let's close this. Let's take this off. Let's take this off. So we'll put this in a subquery. Of course, we can do city as well. Length city as let's say length. Let's call it. Okay, let's say longest. Can we say longest? Okay, longest. So we cannot say select. Just see what happened here. Select city. Okay, then max longest. Remember, I specified longest here, so that's why I'm using longest on top. From this table here, this one called A, we'll call it A, because this is not like a table on its own. Do you understand? This is not like a table on its own. So I'm calling this, I want to get this table here. So I'll now say group by city. Okay. Then I can now say again, order by okay. So see this, let's see what's going to happen. Okay. So now see, then I'll now apply descending. You can see the numbers, okay? You can see the numbers. So you see, you will see your answer right now. Tripler Army Medical Center, 27. White Sands, Missile Range, 25. Anybody know the answer? The city with the longest name?
The first one.
Yes. So if you want to take this as the first one, what do you need to apply?
Descending.
Longest.
Okay, the first one, only one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Limit
Okay,
one.
go,
Yeah. So descending takes you from the highest to the lowest. Ascending takes you from the lowest. By default, the system is an ascending. So you see, it gives you this. But I'll show you the advantage of CTE. CTE, when you are in an interview and you get modeled up in a subquery like this, the answer is just right in front of you, but they will tell you, don't use limit one. So before I convert this to a CTE, you see what's going to happen, okay? It's straightforward. I will drop this. Okay, I'll call this a subquery. We'll use subquery here. So here, we're going to use a CTE, it's common table expressions. You see how easy and efficient it could be. Okay, let me close these results. I decided to do it so that you can see the table itself. So you can like, hey, this is what my answer would look like. How do I bring it in? So now see this. this would go, this would come here, this will come under, because that is where you will need to do some magic. So now this is where I'll start from, with CTE as this. So A goes, it becomes a comma. And remember, this must come into this statement. Okay, this must come into the statement. So with a CTE, the CTE now, just see what the CTE does. So I already know that, okay, I have a CTE and I have my longest name. Let's call it longest, okay? Let's call it longest. So now, with my CTE, straight away, I will get my answer. Just see what I'm going to do. So I will now say select city, select longest from CTE. Let me name this one straight away. Name, longest name here. Longest name. So from CTE. Okay. If from this table here, it tells me city longest name from CTE. So here it tells me that I'm picking everything here, right? So now I'll not put a where clause. Where longest name equals, see that's the power of CTE. Now see what CTE does. Select max longest name from CTE. Should I explain? Okay, now this is my table here. This is that table that generates all the values for me. Okay, so if I run this table, you would see all the cities and the numbers. Okay, you see all the cities and the numbers, all the cities and the numbers. Okay, so now I have city and longest name. So let me close this again. So I'm not saying from this table I just ran and you saw the city and the numbers. I'm saying, and that table now belongs to CTE, right? So I'm saying select city longest name from this CTE. In my where clause, longest name is a number, right? I'm also now referencing to CTE. Give me the maximum longest name from CTE. See what happened. It's just by understanding your table. This is it. No need for limit. You see the difference between CTE and subquery? So you choose one that will give you a view of your answer. Okay? Okay? These are two different instances. With this, you see everything on the table. With this, it gives you what the answer, what the question wants. Does that make sense? Let me put this in the chat so you can play with it. City is a complex concept, but once you know it for life. So I'm trying to make sure that you get everything clearly. Feel free to take me back before Mr. Tenny takes over. I'm always ready to help you get that concept clearly. You can do the same from your end. You can do anything to it. You can find the mean. You can come here, change this to mean, which is the minimum value. And you see maybe like a couple of maybe three states. There are a lot of states with 3 from what I saw previously.
Please, Francis, I don't know if you can mute yourself. There's a noise from the background.
Remember, I was telling you about 3. The minimum state is 3. You know, in this kind of question, they know the minimum state is 3, right? They will not tell you, and the city begins with J. You get? And where longest name is minimum of this. And the question goes those and you know, city like, you know, how we do the wildcard. Can play around with it sometimes. City like J. So now, sometimes it might be, they will just want J or JU, see this. And I'm just playing around with the questions. I feel like, you know, you see J, anything that has J. So if you take this off, no data. Because there is no J on there. So if you pull this back in, now you should have all your J's back. Have Jude, Joy, Jet, J, Aja. Sometimes you just want to have J. We just need Joy. That's it. So we have all J's. Okay, so it's there are different ways to it. Okay, so let's take the other question. Anybody? So which state, okay, which city has the longest name? Which state has a city with the longest name? Anybody? Who wants to try? So that question is a bit complex, right? But it's not, because you already have a solution to it. So now you need to bring this one in. You need this one we wrote, this first one, because it has, the question requires you to join the city and states together. Okay. So let's do this. Let's do this real quick. You know, but sometimes, yeah, when you see this, I don't need to see the question before I think very fast. You just need to see the question and make a split decision all at once. This is the method, straight away. You know, this is the method. That's the reason why I want you to understand tables. I want you to see everything around you like a table and get the whole concept. Okay, let me grab the question and put it there. Which state has the city with the longest name? Okay, see. Let's play around it. So I remove all this comment by doing a control forward slash or a forward slash, depending on the system you're using. If you're using a Mac, it's a command forward slash.
Sorry, how do you put it at once? I wanted to ask
Okay.
that question.
Yeah, if you highlight this, you can do a control for you. If you're on Windows, do control forward slash. That slash has a question mark on it.
Okay.
Yeah, just highlight, just knock it off. That's how.
Okay. Okay.
With time,
Thank
you get used to all these programming paradigm. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So sometimes if you want to do stuff, you do a Control D to duplicate. If you're on a Python, you see, I duplicate everything now. Can you see? So you be careful when you do stuff. It will take you it will take you a million miles away from your code. Okay. So let's do some few tricks here. So the question, which state has the city with the longest name? Okay, cool. We have the state code. Okay, we have the state code. State from Panastro Lab State. So the only thing missing from this city is grouping it. Is what? Doing the count or doing the length of city, right? So here we just need to add len. We need to add this method length. Then we'll put city. Okay. Then we can name it as longest name. I'm just modifying the query. Longest name. Okay. Length city as longest name. Then we need to group by. So now see this. See 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3. So when you see people write this, like they do this, group by. I was about showing you that concept. When you see people do group by 1, 2, it means 1, 2. You know, if you're writing an aggregate query, right? If you need to aggregate a query, you need to group by the fields or columns in there. So you group by this 1, 2. Instead of me writing city and state code, I decided to alias them using their index 1, 2. Okay, if I only have one field here, I will say group by 1. Okay, so not to confuse you, let me do this, okay? So that you understand what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, instead of me writing group by city and state code, I want to use their position 1, 2. I can put here 1, 2. Okay, so if I run this, see what's going to happen. Can you see? We already have I added the name. So now we have the city, we have the state code, and we have the longest name, the number, okay? So now, and again, note this. Note this, we're about to play that trick that we played before. We're joining, now we have joined ST, state, city, and order, okay? So now we're not going to bring this in as well, city.longest name. CI dot. Remember, longest name belongs to the cities, okay? Belong here. So, and I've made a join here, and I want to put where. I'm bringing this magic back. I'm bringing this one here. Now, the longest name is from where? It's from the cities table. So I replace city E with cities. Okay, now the question was max. Okay, the state max. So it will be max longest name. So who's ready to see what we're cooking? So we'll take a look at the query again. We already have the states in the table. This is the states here. The states, this is the query for the states. And this is the query for the cities. For the cities, the trick is making sure that you bring the length into it. So this is for the city here. So you do a join between the state and the city here using the state code, and where the longest name equals to max longest name. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's see if we do the states. So the state is Hawaii. And if you remember, the longest name is 27, and the city is Tripler Army Medical Center. Does that make sense? It's tricky, right? Just this small question with this long. Okay, so it's interesting to see to tackle this. And like I said, always very happy to tackle data questions. So I dropped it off in the chat so you guys can play with it as well. Any questions? Anybody want to make modifications? Let's see the state with the minimum. Let's see, we can do that as well. You can run, just by making out, if you know the method. Let me take this out. Once you know the method, Alaska, Arkansas, Alabama, and all that. So if you want to know the one with the J, you have to implement, you have to add another logic, this one, and city like J's. It's weird that this didn't flag any error because it's the only one with that. Yeah. Only one with that name. That's why it didn't flag. Because you have to alias almost anything here. So let's see those states with this J. Florida, Illinois, Maine, North Dakota, New Mexico, and all that. Yeah, any question? Tell me. Do you know how I brought this in, how I made the join? And do you understand the skeleton of building an ACTE? Mr. Olu, Mr. Derek, Mr. Francis, Miss Vivian? Do you understand the framework?
Yes,
Mr. Derek, you there? Mr. Olu? Okay, now see, return a list of all states.
Yeah, we're getting it.
Okay, cool. Return a list of all states, cities, mapping such the state code and the city name in a single column, e.g., AK Koyokuk, AK Marshall, IL Chicago, IL Cicero. Okay, so this is the last one. It's just going to be a simple query. So let me take the question and just do a highlight and see. See. Okay, so do a select and want to return a list of all states and cities. It still means that we need that our join, right? We need that our join, okay? We need that join. So let me bring the join back because it's saying all states and cities. So, and we know that the join between them is Okay. It's just the cities code. Okay, so we don't need a join. So we just need a simple. So this is it. We can do this. We can do select. So this is more like concatenation. Okay, can do select. You can also say concat. You can say concat. You can also say state code. State underscore code. Okay, put a comma. Put a comma. Then you now put the separator. You can put, let me see, there are different ways you can put space. No need for space. Then you put a state. I know, see? Okay, state code and city. Okay. So we have city here. And let's look at state. Let's see what state has. State code has state. Oh, state code and states. All right. So now you see that this state has state code and states, and cities has city and state code. So it means that we need to grab our data from the cities table. From cities. So make our table look nice, we can decide to say, okay, select state code so that we know where we're grabbing data from. Select state code, comma, city, comma, from cities. But remember, the cities will have the labs. So you put this. You want to have this. Okay, let's put a limit. Let's say limit 50 because they're a lot. Limit 50. Let's run it and let's see what's going to happen. Does that make sense? Anybody? So if you want to get this, if you want to get this one, if you want to get, like, for example, you want to see where this is, this particular word. So you want to say, okay, from, let's X this. Where? State code. Okay, where state code? Anybody knows what I need to do? In. Anybody? AK? IL. Let's limit it to 50. Let's see what's going to happen. Okay, you can see AK. We're looking for Koyo Cook and Marshall, right? Koyo Cook. Koyo Cook, AK Koyo Cook, Koyo Cook. We didn't see Koyo Cook. I release this to 500. Basically, when you're running the database, you want to do something like that. You want to see what's going on, because I can get to this answer. By getting to this answer, I will now specify and city in Koyo Cook and Marshall. But I want you guys to sit here before I filter it down. Okay, AK, we're going to KO. Look, just take a look at this zone, okay? AK, KO. Koyokuk, Koyokuk. Koyok, Koyok, Koyokuk. You see that?
Yeah.
Koyokuk. So, but if I want to specify, I want this specific result itself, okay? So now see. And I want you to see that it's in my universe and I want to bring it out. And city in. Do I have city? I have city in. I bring it out in my universe. Comma. First and first, I want to bring Koyokuk. You already see it here, right? So now I want to be specific to where I'm going. I want Koyokuk. KYUKUK. If I make a mistake, it's not going to show up. I want Marshall as well. Marshall. I also want Chicago and Cicero. You see how I basically placed them, Chicago. And Cicero. So I want to run them. If your spelling is wrong, it won't show up, okay? So this is it. Okay, guys, let's max 10 minutes break and Mr. Kenny is coming to take over, okay? I'll pass this to the chat and you guys play with this. Any questions, please? Any questions, please communicate to me.
No questions.
No question, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Take it up.
Welcome back, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
So we'll be looking at a few more concepts to deepen our understanding of SQL. So the topic we'll be looking at today, basically, you can consider we'll be looking at union, select into, insert into the create table, some constraints, check, and the like. So we'll start with the union. SQL union. So I want to create a class to use. So let me, okay, I'll close this. The class name. Okay, the same name. So, So, okay, let's just continue. I want to keep this because we'll create another. 2022 12. This is 16B dot SQL. Okay, we want to look at union. Let us inspect some tables to use as the basis. Union means you want to join records together. Maybe we should not use join, but join means something else. So we can say combining outputs of two queries. We use union. So, and there's a variant of it, there is a union or. So we're going to look at the union and union or.
Yeah.
Now let us look at that.
Hi, sir. Are you recording?
I think so.
It looks like Mr. Hope stopped the recording during the break.
Oh, okay. Okay,
He's
Mr.
recording. He's recording actually. You want to
Okay.
look to your left, you see it saying recording
Okay,
on the screen. Yeah.
It's recording now. Okay, so okay, let's just continue. Let us look at our states. Customer stable. I look at customer stable. States or agents. Check customer table, select or from customers. Okay, yes. Anastro. Astro Labs dot customers. Let's look at that. Something is wrong. Let's look at the error. Oh, no database selected. I don't know why that.
Is it because the customer is in capital letters?
No, it's saying database is not selected. So there's a way to select. If you have that kind of error, I'll just run it again. So it's saying okay, selected and no such table. I think it's case. Yeah, you are right. Let's use uppercase as case sensitive. Customers. All right. Okay, let us use states. I think we have more in states. We have something more to play around with. We have more records in states and probably cities. Look at all the cities. Now let us write two queries. Let's find cities in certain states. So say select all from Panastro Labs, the cities where the code for states there is state code. State code. You can use the in statement to pass multiple query values. So instead of say where state code is equal to Texas, so I can say I'm passing Texas, and the code for that is TX, uppercase. Then let's pass another state, any state of interest.
Maryland,
Maryland. What's the code?
MD.
No, MD is Maryland, right?
Yes.
Okay. One more state. Let's run this. So we have cities in Maryland, and let's see all of them. And Texas. So how many do we have in this result? How many do we have in this result? We can do a count, and I want us to note the count. So we have 1896. Please note that down. 1896. Now, so I want to demonstrate union now. We're going to split this SQL statement into two. So instead of saying state code in Texas and Maryland, so we just do state code is equals to Texas. Is equals to Texas. So state code in Texas. Now I want us to take note of that. How many count? 1466. 1466. Then let's do where state code is Maryland. Take note of that. That's 430. Now if we sum 430 and 1466 together, that will give us obviously the 1896. But to deal with the entire record, I will remove the count. Look at this. So let me just run this. Select all. Let this go. Okay, this is that. Now, I can do another query and say union. I put union here to join them together. Now write literally another query. You say select all from an astrolab dot cities. Again, where clause, where, let me do that on the next line, where state code is equals to Texas. All right, so if we run these two together now, that's a union. Now, you can see that this union, in essence, is combining the two results together. Now, if we want to be sure, we can do can just wrap this and count. So just select count of whatever from this table. This table, I'm wrapping it. I just wrap that other query. This is queries of queries. It's another variant of the city. The city is just more elegant. Select count of all from this derived table. So if I run this, the answer is the same 1896. So you use union to combine results together. I'm going to remove that count. Now, count is just for test. Count is just for test. So you can have that understanding. Then I want to show union or. What is the essence of union or? If you have duplicates, union or will combine the duplicates. So I need to demonstrate union or very quickly. So before then, let me keep a copy of this. Yeah. All right, so I dropped that. So, okay, let's do something with customer. So we return to our customer table. Customers is our table. Let's check the rows here. So while looking at it, now let us try something. Let's try something. Where age, let's make use of age. So select star from Panastro Labs dot customers. Now let's filter by age and say where age, let's say greater than 30. Run that and let's see. You can see greater than 30. Now let's do how many records? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's greater than 30. Now let's do greater than 20 or greater than 35. Let's do greater than 35. Okay, so we can see greater than 35. We can see greater than 30. Now let's do union for the two now. So I'll do greater than 35 union. The same query, select all from and Astrolabs dot customers. Then where age is greater than 30. 30. Okay, these are two separate queries, different outcomes. Then if I run this join together, see the result. You can see the results. Let me do a little cleanup of all the results. Don't save this. Close, 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 close. Okay, so I'll run this again. I'll combine results. So you can see greater than. Okay, let me just flip this and say less or equal to 20. Less or equal to 20. Let's run that. So now we have greater than 35. Then we have less or equal to 20. So we can just combine these results together. So, but the other time I did greater than 35 and greater than 30. I'm trying to see an overlap. Greater than 30, how many records? Greater than 30. Now, this greater than 35 record is actually inclusive in the greater than 30 because you can see 35 and 36 here. So look at that again. That's we have 36 and 42. So they're inclusive here. So that's ID 7, ID 8. Now, if we run the two together, now, the reality is that this flavor of SQL is behaving here as union OR. I wanted to show the difference between union and union OR. So some flavors of SQL in the output, they just do a union OR. What does a union OR do? Union OR removes duplicate in the combined results. If you have duplicate, it will be filtered. Obviously, we can see that even our union is removing duplicates. So it's doing the work of a union OR. So that's union in a nutshell. So I'll restore the less or equal 20. Less or equal 20. So you can use it to combine results from different slices of data. You can take it from below, so low values, and then you can do high values. You can combine the two together. So I'll take a copy of this, then we'll go to the next concept. Do you have any questions regarding union?
All right, my question is that what about if we want to organize them in either ascending or descending order?
Yes, good question. There, good. So, okay, I'll just use the opportunity to retrace something again. So you can just come here and now you can throw this into a CTE. You understand? So, and you can do a ascending and descending order here and say order by. You can follow with the order by clause. But this could be trickish. Order by what? Let's order by name, right? Let's do order by name. Order by name. Run that through. So you know it's alphabetical now. Now let order by ID and see the effect. One, 4, 7. You can see it's ordered. Let order ID descending. Can you see? You can see the order by clause, but this can be tricky by the time you have a complex query. So the best way to handle this professionally is to wrap it in a city expression. Understand? Just do a wrap here and say with. So whenever you are doing anything on a union beyond just outputting the results, anytime you are dealing with complexities in query, CTE comes handy. So we say with city, any name you want to call it, with CTE as, open your bracket, the closing should come down here, close the bracket. So close the, let me close it here to make it look good. Like that, close. So close it. Now issue your other select statement. That's a select all. Select all from CTE. Order by that. So if we run this, so whatever you now want to do, you can manipulate it as you have your original query intact. That's one thing that CTE does for you. Now, one thing again here, we have taken something for granted here, and it will be good to address it. Most of the time when you are doing union, returning all expressions in the two tables may cause confusion at times. One thing with union is that you must have equal number of columns. You understand? All the columns must be of the same data type. Equal number of columns. All the columns must be of the same data type, and they must be of the same name. So we just took it for granted because we are fetching from the same table. At times, the record we are fetching here may not be from the same table. So you have to do a little cleanup or casting. So you probably want just the name, comma, the age, and others. Now filtered address away. Now in the other table, make sure you are returning the same name, age, others. At times, from another table, maybe named is something else. You have to cast the name with an alias. You can do an alias here. Suppose name is not the right thing. I can say as. So I'm doing an alias for name. I'll turn it to cost name. Now you can do it on either one of the components of the union or on both of them. So I'll cast this one as cost name. So you can cast the name so that you can align. If I'm not just casting the name, you can cast the data type. For instance, you cannot mix a string, that's character. You cannot mix VACA with date. So you say that the two of them, you take them to cover VACA, or you take the two of them to date. You will not mix integer with VACA. So it's either you cast the integer or vice versa. So run that, you just see something different. Run. Okay, probably there's an error. Check. Unknown column ID. Yes, we cannot order by column that is absent. You understand? So let's just order by name. So the name here now is customer. So according to, so run that. So you can see the new results. So here I can say order by age. So from oldest, you can see something we have there. That's good. So cool result we have there. So I should just do cleaning up the result here, the create space. I'll take a copy of this. Any other question on that? Any other?
No questions.
All right, thanks. Right. Okay. Now I talk about cast, so I want to show you. We need to change data type. Which table can we use for that? Okay, I'll clean this up. Now in SQL, you can write literal expressions. So you can say select you can say select let's say 20 over 90 as results. Now this is a valid SQL statement. Can you see? So I just use it as a computational tool there. So you can return a literal arithmetic expression like that. You can see the result alone or as part of another query. So in order to illustrate this, let us look at this, our customer table. We still do the job. So let us just quickly check what's inside again. I need something numeric, unfortunately. Okay, that's the customer orders. Orders will do the job. Select all from orders. Something computational to illustrate. Okay, in full way. An astrolab dot financial labs dot orders. Select all from dot the orders in uppercase as well. From that. Okay, you can see our order table price. Now I want us to do something with this price in a moment. And okay, suppose we say we want the item, comma, and we want its price. We can let us assume the currency is the same. If the currency is different, then you have to do conversion. These are some of the things you have to do. So we have our item, we have the price. You understand? Now let's do another SQL down here. What is the average price? So one of the aggregate functions we are not really dealt with is average. We have dealt with sum, we have dealt with count. We use sum, we use count. Just like you find sum, you can find average. So you say select what? Select average, AVG. That's the function name. Of what? Can someone tell me? It's similar to sum. So can someone help me to complete this?
Say that again, sir.
We want to find average of the prices. Okay. In reality, you can do this. You can say count. These are statistical expressions. You can say you are finding the count of price. You can have those single value functions. You can do sum. I want to just demonstrate this expression. Sum of price and average of price. Let's run that and can see from where, okay, I better just break it. Select that. So I put my next line from our table. Astro Labs dot others. All right, run this. Now look at this. Count is saying we have 6 records. Is that true? Let me close down so that we can compare the results. Yes. Don't save. Close this. Let's close that. Close that. Close this. Okay. Close this. All right. I want the full list here. Close. Okay. I'm gonna run this again. Also the full table select select all from Financial Labs dot others. So let's see the full table side by side. Now, full table, how many counts? 6 counts. And you can see here that's true. Sum. If we sum all these prices together, 240. Average price. Now, in this statistics, the sum of all the prices of item does not make any sense. Unlike average, this is a statistical sensibility here. Unlike summing all prices together, why will you do that? You understand? But you can sum. There's a particular sum you can do. You can say, okay, items price times number of orders. Now there's something missing in this table. Suppose we have the number of units. So you can now say price times number of units. In that expression, you now sum it together. So you are summing composite tables together. So you can do that now. I just want to demonstrate something here. Now I can do this and say, I'll say sum of all prices divided by count of all prices. So I want to put an alias here. I call it derived average. So I derived the average here. So let us make comparison. Where are we? Still an error. Sum of price over, oh no, wrong spelling. So run this. Now, can you see that the aggregate function and the derived result is returning the same thing? So I've used that one to demonstrate that you can have an expression here to arrive at any result. Now, suppose I wanted to show you how to cast. Now, all these figures are integer. So if you want to change them to a string, a character, you just cast them. So similarly, if you have a character, you can cast to string. But if that string does not carry numeric value, it will fail. So let me just quickly illustrate that here. How you can cast. We'll move to next. Now let's cast one of these guys. Maybe the price. So we use the cast function. Okay, this result is an integer. So we can turn it to varchar. You say as varchar. We're turning it to string. You know, string in SQL is varchar and varchar and the line. So as call this one string price. So we converted it. Run that. Okay, like there's an error. Cast, not cuts. Cast. Run. There's still an error. Well, cast this. count of price is an expression as VACA as a string. Let me drop this down as string price. I need to see the error. On no column. Okay, there's an error somewhere at line 2. Okay, let me just select cast of. That cast is not working well. Okay, did I do a copy of that? Okay, let me keep a copy. Let me keep a copy. I'll just keep a copy of this and come and deal with the cast. Okay, I'll take a copy of this for the derived aggregate function. All right, so, okay, let us just go ahead and do select cast of we're dealing with price. Cast of price as a VACA. Cost of price as a VACA. We have converted that one to a string from Anastro Labs. Anastro dot others. So we run that. That's an error again. Let's check that.